Everybody, welcome back with the Purplatypus is the name, and today I want to show you the build that I've been using in Path of Exile 2, Last of the Druids expansion. So, first thing, before we get too deep into it, I just want to say I'm not a Path of Exile 2 content creator, right? I just play the game for fun. I mean, I have a couple hundred hours in Path of Exile 2, but I'm in no way a professional. I didn't follow any build guides or anything, but I've been doing pretty decently, and I've just had a lot of fun, and I thought there was a lot of interesting things that worked together in a very good way that made this something that I should show. I don't know, and plus it just sounded like fun. It's my channel, all right? So we're gonna just jump right into it. So we are playing not a druid, but we are playing the Smith of Kitava. So this was an idea I originally got from Zizarin. Basically for this node right here, body armor generates 60% increased glory, which is going to be our main skill, right? I'm sure if you're watching this, you've probably seen Walking Calamity, which is going to be a build that generates glory, and then you do a bunch of stuff. Turns out I actually don't have glory generation problems. Although I took this ascendancy for this node, I've ended up not wanting to use it at all because I feel like I just have not 100% uptime, but I have enough uptime where I'm not really annoyed by having a little, basically just a little bit of downtime. And even this, I don't think it would fix it that much. Plus, a lot of these other nodes are good. So why did that's why I went Smith of Kitava, but why are we still Smith of Kitava? Why did I not basically change after I decided I didn't like that node? One, I don't like starting over, and I felt like playing Smith of Kitava, but also, maybe the most important node here that I didn't think anything of at first, but body armor grants unaffected by damaging ailments. So one, this is just good in general, right? For poison, bleed, and most importantly, ignite. So I basically was just going through the campaign, and then I saw that this was a node, and I remembered down here, if you take a look at my passive tree, I don't know if this is normal or not, or if it's all over the place, but this node all the way up here, increased armor while ignited, 2% maximum fire resistance while ignited, and 50% increased fire damage while ignited. And then you have here, ignites you cause are reflected back onto you. So basically, instead of investing a bunch of points into mitigating the amount of ignite I was taking, I just did one of my ascendancy points where now I can't be ignited, or I can be, but I don't get hurt by it, and I don't get hurt by poison or bleed. So that was a pretty nice combo that I ended up being like, okay, maybe this thing can actually work. Then I saw this other node here where you get 20% increased strength, which I already thought is pretty good for just like HP, right? Combined with HP, you know, I'm sitting at over 3,000 HP. Is that a lot? I don't know. All right. It's where I'm at. All right. It's a lot to me. But that where you get the 20% increased strength, I'm actually running this node down here where 1% damage per 15 strength. As far as a node goes, I'm sitting at 478 strength. And I think I could push that up above 500 no problem, even without going into the passive tree. I think my gear is still like kind of subpar. So this is this is honestly just a pretty powerful node. What is that? 30% damage on that one. And of course you're getting the effect of all the HP. But then I kind of started getting really into the rage mechanic, because you kind of have to generate rage for the Calamity, and it generates rage. So this is where I ended up really, really loving a passive that we have here on the skill gem is Eternal Rage generates rage per second, but I ended up using Berserk. Lose 0.1% of your maximum life per second per rage. So I currently have a rage of 48, which means I am losing 4.8% of my life per second, but as you can see here, my life is not going down. So it is kind of heavy to get all of these things. Oh, why would we take that? 55% increased rage effect. So the reason why that's pretty good is because, again, for the Ascendancy, you have a 15% maximum life, but I took this node, 3% of my max life per second. I obviously have other nodes as well that increase life. So even though I'm losing 5%, I'm still generating 274 HP a second. And I also have Blood Mage, so I don't have mana. And even then, I still am generating more than using my mana and everything like that, right? So this has been, it just felt like everything was clicking together pretty darn well initially. Now, I did switch off. This build has changed a lot over time. So I did end up, I really, really want to use things like this. You know, 100% of armor applies to chaos. It's kind of risky that I'm not running this right now, but I really wanted to pivot into this Berserker. The Berserker stance thing is pretty new, but it has been a pretty big damage increase, which is why I'm like, why I like doing it. But if I started to die too much, I could easily take it off, flip off the Berserker stance until I have, you know, another Ascendancy, because I'm at 6 out of 8 right now. I might take this node, but I also might not. I do have the fire resistance also grants cold and lightning, just to help my resistances be super easy. You can see here, I'm not even close to being done, not even quite capped on cold. I could always fix this, but I've been pretty happy with where I'm at right now, because I'm sitting at 17,000 armor, and when I am actually on fire, I think I go above 20,000 armor, which has been awesome. So those are the main nodes that are worth talking about here. Like, there's obviously a lot of nodes, like every rage also grants fire damage. So now rage is giving me attack damage, it's giving me fire damage, and it's also giving me armor. So I get a bunch of armor with my rage, a bunch of fire damage with my rage, and a bunch of attack with my rage. Now, the next thing I'm thinking about doing is actually scaling up the rage, you know, getting these 16 stacks right here over these next 3 points. That's something I'm considering. I'm still deciding what nodes I want to take. I might adjust some stuff here. I feel like this is a job that's never really done, you know? Like, I'm not 100% sure if I'm happy with the tree yet, but I mean, I'm happy, but I don't know if this is its final form. We will find out later. Now, as far as the skills, we're primarily using Walking Calamity and Rampage. Walking Calamity and Rampage. Now, and the only other thing we're doing besides that is we will use Fury of the Mountain in order to generate enough rage to actually use this, because it generates a lot of rage. It generates its own rage, and then I have it do 5 on melee hit. And so it actually generates just super, super quick. I've been very happy with it. It's not really a damage thing. I just have it branch out to make a bunch of fissures. They all seem to hit. So the Deadly Resolve is actually really good for leveling as well. It's not as good right now, but with all this armor, basically you channel this skill and then you get counterattacks. Also for leveling, Iron Ward was absolutely the most broken thing of all time. Absolutely jacked how powerful this skill was. I loved it, but we're kind of at the point now where I just don't really need it anymore, but it was absolutely destroying the campaign. And Ferocious Roar, this is one thing I didn't get from a guide. I think I watched a video now that I was getting further into the game. I did not think of Ancestral Cry on my own. So this is a war cry that uses glory by igniting enemies, which is what we're already doing. And when this actually goes off, you're going to basically just get more damage. You're going to ancestrally boost your, you know, all of your slams and stuff. You just get really strong. But I don't think there's a way to track the glory. But even if you don't have the glory for it, it'll still use Ferocious Roar until you get enough glory. Then sometimes when you use it, it'll use that instead. So it's kind of weird that you don't always get exactly what you want. You don't always get this, at least with how I have it set up. Maybe if I get that ultimate weapon that generates glory on it, it'll be much more. But still, that is something that I didn't think of myself. Other than that, we're mostly using Walking Calamity with more duration, ignoring fire resistance, so I don't have any fire penetration nodes really, more elemental attack damage, and more damage, but with a cooldown. I haven't found the cooldown to matter. It can sometimes, like if you dodge roll out of the animation, you have to wait 10 seconds. That could be awkward. But overall, not too bad. So this is not a solo self-found. I am in Trade League, but I have made most of my own gear. The exceptions are the ring. I bought this ring, and then I did the quality on it myself, and I bought, I think it was either the gloves or the boots. The rest of it is stuff that I've made. So if we go through the amulet here, is this a crazy good amulet? No, but I needed 30 more spirit. Actually, you know what? I'm sorry. I bought this is my new amulet. I bought this amulet, this ring, and I think it's these boots. So this is different than the one that I made. This one has 8% life, 37 spirit, because I needed spirit in order to use the berserker, which is pretty new. And then it's just a bunch of strength, fire res. Int is not what I wanted, but it's okay. The energy shield is not what I want, but it's okay. It's still just like kind of a placeholder for now. As you can see here, we've got the insane superior ornate plate. It's just a piece of armor there. I will look for the one with 3 sockets or 4 sockets eventually, but I'm not super concerned about it right now. I don't have anything I really feel like socketing in there. I'm not sure what I'm going to put in here yet. Maybe more regeneration. We'll see if I get my rage higher, if I need to have more regeneration to counteract that. But overall, this is just an ascendancy item, basically. And as for this, mostly what you're going to see on my items is life, armor, fire res, that kind of stuff as defensive stats. I'm very short on chaos right now. But yeah, as far as the rings go, I'm trying to get some more damage on them, but it's okay. This ring has 3 affixes that I dislike, so this thing could absolutely be replaced. I'm only using it for the chaos resist and a little bit of physical attack. The boots don't have speed on it. I'm not really a big speed on boots guy. I don't really care that much. This is 791 armor. It's the main reason why we're using it. Also a bunch of strength and life regen. And here, not as much armor, but it has damage to attacks, A bunch of strength, which strength, you know, I care about having strength because I have the 20% boost. And then armor also applies to elemental damage. In fact, if you take a look while we're shapeshifted, 14,000 of our 17,000 armor actually works on elemental damage. So like certain like fire attacks and stuff just like don't do any damage. Now, the one I'm most proud of is this weapon here. This is a weapon I did make myself. It's probably getting a little low on the levels now. It's at 60. Yeah, I mean, item level 67, so it can't roll the highest affixes, but still, right? It has 102 to 155 fire damage and 147 physical damage. I really thought the increased elemental damage with attacks would be better. I think I should have just gotten flat damage instead, but this is what I thought this sounded really good. And I suspect it's not as much as if I just got a good roll on a flat damage stat. 13% attack speed is also pretty good. But then it has 103% increased physical damage and the +5 level to all attack skills. So is this a best in slot super weapon? No, but this is easily the best thing that I've made in any time of, you know, recently. I don't really want to corrupt it or anything like that. I don't have a backup weapon right now at this point. And as for the belt, this is just a belt with a bunch of armor on it. It's actually a really cool belt. 15% chaos, 32% fire, 26 strength, 105 life, and 216 armor on top of 130 armor. I love this belt. This belt was like a pretty sick find for me. So that's kind of what the items I'm working with, the nodes, kind of what I was thinking about when I was doing this. And things have changed a lot. It's become much more rage focused as I've approached the end game, where it wasn't really rage focused at all. So we'll try to do a little demonstration here. Now keep in mind, I'm not a PoE2 content creator. I mean, I'm not that good. Also, this is a level 73 map. It's the highest I've currently gotten. And my setup, I don't think my computer is very nice, so it might get really choppy, but hopefully we can at least get an idea of what we're doing here. Let's make sure my stuff is on. I didn't mess with it. Yeah, we got Berserk, we got Eternal Rage, and you can see here, yeah, 17,000. Actually, you know, I should take a look at my DPS. This one's at 12,000, but my meteors are at 29 and 73,000. All right, so let's go ahead and try to find some enemies, and let's just try to kill the boss, right? So a lot of times I'll just melee, but I also like using my the charge. That when the charge is going, it's pretty sick. So I mean, it looks like you guys can see what I'm doing here. And then when I get this low, I could just do that, and then I could either charge again or I could just have fun. You can kind of do whatever you want. If I want to really generate the Calamity, like I can kind of slow play it, and I could just use the Calamity and walk around, not doing anything else. I don't even know if this thing will work with me. But yeah, I could just use the Calamity. Shouldn't be too much of an issue. And then once it comes back up, so it's kind of fun. Like this is more than a one-button build, which was my goal. But still, like I can keep this up pretty much all the time. And I'm relatively tanky. I don't really dodge that much. I do sometimes. Apparently I got knocked out of it there. So ideally, when the Calamity is getting low, you kind of want to wait because you don't want to let your rage get too low. We don't generate that much rage because we're a Smith of Kitava. We're not a Shaman, which has its own passive rage regeneration. I'm not going to pick up any... I'll pick up currencies, all right? All right, let's not be crazy. I'll pick up currencies. But yeah, these aren't too bad. This is the highest level map I think I've done, but I really just want to get to the boss so we can kind of showcase how the bosses work. Because as far as like map clearing, this is not the fastest of the map clearing builds that I've done. Like Contagion, I felt like this was way better, but then they slowed down a lot on bosses, so I'm not sure what the, you know, I'm still working on it. This is a build in progress, but I think this is going to be the one I try to take to the super late game is my goal. I think it does have the power to be able to do that. It's hard to say if armor and HP alone are going to actually be able to get you there. What are we doing? Are you fighting me right now? All right, so let's go get to this boss. He should be very, very close. Okay. All we do is we want to make sure this thing is up when we get there. And we don't have to, we can get it up inside of the fight. That's what she said. Okay, well, this is a fire boss, so she, if anything, our damage should be way lower here, right? All right, let's take a look. So then we stomp on her. I mean, she's probably got pretty good fire res, right? And then I did run out of juice there, but I don't even think we had the I don't even think we had the Ancestral Cry going, which would have been great as well, right? It makes all of them way crazier. Hey there, this is Plat from the future. So I've been playing for a few more days, hit level 88, and the build is basically the same, but I just wanted to do an update since I haven't made the video go live, and I figured I still got time. So I have upgraded my gear, and it is better in general, but really the build hasn't changed. But now when I'm ignited, I go up to, I think it's 29,800 armor, so basically 30,000 armor. And the meteors go up to, I'm not ignited right now, and I don't want to pull it up during combat because I might die. They go up to 150,000 damage, I believe, per second. And again, that's 150,000 damage. It's not including the small meteors, and it's not including me actually using skills like Molten Crash. So this is currently a level 80 map, so it was a tier 15, and I irradiated it. And this is a powerful map boss. Can I look at the Atlas world? Is that the world screen right now? I don't know. Is that this? Let's take a look. Yeah, I think it is. So we are doing a powerful, oops, sorry, whatever, you saw the symbol there. So just kind of wanted to show you what it is like fighting a boss now as a final update. They are harder, and I'm not as tanky as I was, but the build is still very, very functional. So let's go ahead and get in there. We're not actually going to use the Molten Crash. It's mostly for clearing maps. We're going to wait till she's getting ready to pop out. We are going to pull out this. We are going to use our yell. We're going to start healing, and then we're just going to keep smashing the ground. We are slowed right now, but we're just going to basically go around in circles here, and she is dead. Wasn't too hard at all. And there's another tier 15 Waystone, not very good. As far as these drops, I don't really care. Maybe I care about a Fang Talisman. I don't really care about much anymore. But yeah, just wanted to do a quick update to show you kind of how the build is performing now that I'm not like on tier 7 maps, now that I'm actually doing, you know, irradiated tier 15s and tier 16 maps. A lot of people are playing shamans, you know, or playing druids as the bear, and I thought it'd be fun to show a Smith of Kitava. Again, initially Zizaran, I think Zizaran's the one I heard mention at first because of the glory generation. And then it ended up not being at all how I wanted it to work. So I ended up going, but I ended up like, I felt like salvaging it because of the ability to always ignite yourself and to always drain your own HP with a bunch of rage is really, really well countered. It's kind of like what I really wanted the node that ignited myself. Well, I have a node that completely counteracts that downside. I wanted to be able to drain my own HP without having any mana and also being able to have the Berserker stance on. Well, I have a node that basically completely negates that downside. I wanted to have a bunch of life and a bunch of armor, and then I have nodes that give me a bunch of armor and a bunch of life. So it's been very, very awesome for me. It's been super fun to theory craft and kind of work on this build over time. I still got to refine it a bit more. Again, I need to get this Chaos node. I think with my last two Ascendancies, I am going to just take, maybe I'll take something like some fire damage. Probably not, though. I'll probably take another 400 armor because I'm addicted to armor, and I will probably have it apply to Chaos damage, and I'll probably have physical hits get taken as fire. And then, I mean, honestly, the 75% fire res and just removing resistance from your gear altogether is pretty huge, but I'm not sure if that is super important. The 30% spirit, though, if I get this node, I could take off the amulet, and I could just run both of these. I could run the Berserker, and I could run the Rage Generation without needing an amulet that has any spirit on it. That's something I might consider doing. I mean, it's not that crazy to get 37 spirit on an amulet, though. But maybe I take this, and then I can get the, boom, this is it. Then I'll be able to take the items. I don't have any support gems, but I'll be able to take the, basically the 2% regeneration a turn, right? 2% regeneration every single second. Basically, this node is kind of like a second version of this node next to it. Maybe that's not worth it. Maybe it's a little cute, but I'll experiment with these because they've all been really fun to use, and I've actually switched between all of these pretty much throughout the campaign. Besides the critical hit one, every single one I've used at least a little bit throughout the campaign or the end game, and it's been so freaking fun. I do want to try these. I might end up taking this, but I just don't feel like this is the build that wants that. You know, we're not doing melee strikes. We're not doing hits. You know, we're not doing melee hits anyway. So I don't feel like, although the druid with this could be really cool, but I just don't think it's really what we're going for with this. We're going all in on the bear. Anyway, guys, that is a kind of guide, kind of showcase If you are a PoE2 guy and you have ideas on how I can optimize this to be better, especially the skill tree, maybe my gear, anything, you know, honestly, just I'm open to being heard with what you say, with what you have to say. But I've been having a lot of fun. This is my favorite. This is my favorite season so far. Although Abyss I like more than the Val Temples. But this season with the druids and the bear forms and stuff have been ideal. So fun. Anyway, guys, that's all. Much love. Purplatypus. I will see you on the flip-flops. Bye.